Hi everyone, Narelle here from Simply Narelle Stitches, and today is Tuesday, 23rd of January 2024, and welcome to my channel about cross stitch. I have been missing for a few weeks, because you can probably tell by my voice, I have been sick. My whole family came down with COVID, and so we were all isolating in the house for a couple of weeks. We are all negative now, but sorry, but we still all have a nagging cough, so sometimes it can be a bit of a symphony. One person will start, then the next person will cough, and it's like we're all just coughing. We are all negative though, like I said, so, and on the improve. So I'm sorry if I cough. I'm going to try not to. It's very, very hard once I start talking. I start coughing. Now I'm going to pause from now, I think, when I cough. So this video is probably going to be very disjointed because I'm going to be talking, and then all of a sudden there'll be a break, and then I'll be back. So we'll see how we go. But I do have a coffee here to help with the throat, so hopefully we'll get through it. Alright, so today I'm going to go through my finishes. I had 2 finishes already this year. My whips, the challenges I've been working on, what else? My plans, and also a little section about counting your stitches when you don't use like a pattern keeper or the iMarkup XP for iPad, and you're just, you know, using a patterned paper pattern. When you're using a paper pattern, how to count your stitches, an easy way I have found to count your stitches. And then a little shop talk. So if you're not aware, I have a Etsy store where I have on there primarily project bags and accessories that I hand make for cross stitches and needleworkers. And then I have a simplynarelle.com site which has a store full of other things, floss, patterns, things like that. So some full coverage PDFs, various things like that. So both are linked below. Right, so let's get on to the finishes. The first one, and I showed it in my last video, was my blessing sampler. I did the pear and the giant, no, the rose and the giant pear, my hands across the sea samplers. And I started this on January 1st as my blessing sampler. And the idea is you start and complete a sampler in the first month of the year, and it will bless your family for the rest of the year. Now, I need some blessings, so I hope this thing works. And I finished it. Now, if I had my booklet here, I could tell you when I finished it, but I'm not that organised, as you can tell. Nothing new here to see with organisation. Alright, so here we go. The rose and the giant pear. Really, really pretty. Love it. That border had a whole lot of stitching in it. And I used the DMC colours. Yeah, and that house had a whole lot of stitching too. But I'm really happy with that. So now I hope to fully finish it. I have some frames that may work. So hoping soon I can actually get that framed and on my wall. We shall see. So that was my first finish. Very happy with that. So that's one ticked off on my countdown to 60 by 2026 when I turn 60. And the second one was a new start as well and a finish. Right, and this one is one of my designs, and it will look a little bit strange because I've attached fabric to it, which I'll talk about in a minute. But this is for the February Project Bag of the Month Club. If you're in the club and you don't want to see the design and the pattern that you'll be getting, then skip ahead, look away, whatever, until I have finished with it, finished talking about it. But with the Project Bag of the Month Club, I've got 2. There's one that you get a 12 by 12 inch full fabric lined project bag, as well as a cross stitch pattern. Now, it used to be an exclusive cross stitch pattern that I designed, but I'm a bit time poor and I can't do one every month. So I'm alternating them at the moment with other patterns, and they won't be exclusive patterns. The ones I do will be exclusive for 12 months, but the ones from other designers will not be exclusive. My club's not big enough to warrant getting a designer like a Rosewood Manor or a Lindy Stitches or someone to design a project just for me, and my club is just not big enough, viable enough for them to be able to do it. I haven't asked the question of any designer. I'm just assuming that my club is not big enough. So last month, or actually this month being January, the participants got a Country Threads chart. Country Threads is an Australian designer, and they got a beautiful chart that went with the theme of the bag. And February, they'll be getting this one, which is designed by me, and it's a sampler that I designed. Which way do I go? That way. And that's really hard to hold up. Ignore the fabric around it. I'll tell you a bit about that. So that is what I've designed. Enjoy the little things. And it's just a house, beautiful floral border, a pot of flowers, and a cute little birdie on the top. So there's a lot of stitching in this. I had a great time stitching it. I love it. I mean, I did design it, so that's probably why I love it. So anyway, that is what's going to be in the February Project Bag of the Month Club. I do still have openings if you're interested in joining the club. It's $40 Australian per month, plus shipping, and you also get a needle minder that's themed, and I don't have any here I can show you, but a themed needle minder. You get something to drink, something to nibble, and some floss, as well as the project bag and the pattern. So you'll see all this excess fabric, all right, on here. Now that's going to get taken off, obviously, when I make this into a pillow. But I saw on, and for life of me I cannot remember her cross stitch channel now, her Flosstube channel now. I'll list it below. But she had fabric sewn to her cross stitch fabric that she was stitching on. It was a black and white quilting fabric, and I looked at it and went, I know why she's done that. That is a brilliant idea. It is, if your fabric is, like if you use a Q-snap and you don't have, 5 inches of fabric spare to go around the Q-snap and then comfortably give you area to stitch close to the Q-snap. And I hate stitching close to the edges of the Q-snap. I find that really frustrating, because when I go at the back to go under my threads to finish off, it's really tight and the Q-snap's in the way, and I just get really frustrated. So now I sew extra fabric on either side so that I have lots of room. So this will go around the Q-snap, for example, and then I have all this to get to. So if the Q-snap is like there, then this is all the way over here, and it just makes it so much easier to stitch on. So I thought that was a brilliant idea, and it just makes it so much more enjoyable. So instead of having, a large piece of fabric for a smallish design, you can now use your smaller pieces of fabric that, if they don't fit on your Q-snap, add this to it, and then you can use them on a Q-snap, and it just makes it so much easier. So that's my little tip for today. And I can't think, it's not Mimi Stitches, maybe, something like that. I will pop the channel below, because I thought that was a brilliant idea. And yeah, I hate stitching close to the Q-snap edge, but I love using Q-snaps. So anyway, right, so they were my 2 finishes. Now get onto my whips. So I've been doing all my whips for lots of different challenges. Alright, and I'm finding that the challenges are a fantastic way to get lots of work on your whips. And even though I have 3 Whip Go boards, not everything that comes up on the Whip Go calls fit into the challenge prompts. So on my Whip Go boards, I should have brought them, I didn't. I used to have 5 days of work on each one when it was called. Well, I've changed that to no goal at all. I just have, if I work on the piece during the month, I've met that Whip Go goal. It could be 10 stitches, it could be 1,000 stitches. As long as I've pulled that whip out and put even a length of thread into it, then I've met that whip go goal. Because I want to participate in as many challenges as I can, because it keeps me motivated to stitch, and it's making me touch more of my whips. So I'm not going to be limited to just my whip go calls. I've decided to open my stitching up this year to every single whip and new start that I have. And if there's a whip go call, if there's a challenge prompt that I don't have a current whip for, then I can start a new project. There's nothing going to stop me starting a new project. If I have the fabric for it, then it's up for a new start if it's for a challenge prompt. So this current one is for a few challenge prompts, this whip, and also it's a whip go call. One of my whip go boards was all new starts. So what was called for whip go, one of my new starts was the Tree of Hope by Mirabilia. So this was a whip go call, and it was also for a few challenges. One that comes to mind that I was stitching on last night was for, I think it's Down Under Divas, and they're stitching through the universe. So the first month is about the sun, and all the prompts are to do something about the sun. And because the sun, one of the prompts, I think it was number 7, the sun is really large or whatever. So the prompt was stitch on something that's large in real life. So I thought trees are large in real life, so that will work as well. So I had to do 500 stitches on this last night for that prompt, and this is where I got to. So that's 500. Right, that's 500 stitches on that, and the bits here in the trunk that are missing are beads, and this down here is the Caron water lilies, which I don't have. So I plan to continue stitching around here, because everything else is DMC except for the beads and the Caron water lilies. So the tree I think is mostly DMC, so I'm going to do as much as I can with all the DMC, because I'm also trying to not spend anything this year unless I absolutely have to. So I can do all of this that I can using DMC, and then come back to it next year and purchase the Caron water lilies and the beads and finish it. That's the plan. I have enough whips and new starts I can do without having to buy anything. So if I get to a stage on this where I can't go any further because I don't have the Caron water lilies threads, then I'll just stop, put it away, and pull out something else. So that is that one. I was going to say something else about that now, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, the fabric. This is fabric from my stash that I bought from a D-stash group, and it is Summer Khaki ? So this is what the note that I got when I bought it. It's 28 count, Summer Khaki ? Zweigart, 28 count. It's a fat quarter. So it fits on there nicely. Really happy with that one. And that's on my Q-set because I was working on it last night, and I'm going to work on it again tonight. Alright, the next whip, I'm not doing these in any order, it's just sort of in my pile. The next one was also a whip go call, and it's a stitching shelf by Heaven and Earth Designs, charted by them, artwork by Amy Stewart, and I don't have a picture here. I will insert a picture. Right, I'm also not taking this off the Q-snap because, you know, there's so much fabric, it's hard to wrangle. I don't want to have to put it back on there. But I got quite a bit of work done on this. I worked on this for quite a few days, probably 3-4 days maybe. And I had not got all this book done. So I finished this one, and I've got most of this one done, and then working towards the next one. And that's the end of the page. Page 3, I think it is. So yeah, I'm really happy with that, and it's getting close, I think, to 4% finished. So I think when I looked last time on the software, it was 3.7 or something. So maybe when I finish this page it'll be 4. But yeah, so I'm not taking it off the Q-snap, you just have to see that. I keep I've noticed something I do with my full coverages, they intimidate me. So I don't like starting them. I don't like starting to stitch on them. So this is the only one I've got started. I've got lots to go to start. But the thought of starting them, I keep putting it off. Like, so that one, the thought of stitching on this one, as in getting it into the Q-snap, getting it all sorted so I got the fabric out of the way, and it's not an issue, that intimidates me, so I keep putting it off. And then one day I just went, I need to get it done. I've got all these full coverages, they're never going to get worked on. As these are never all going to get done in my lifetime. So I need to just do it. And then once I get it set up and situated on the Lowry stand, then I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. So I need to sort something out. I don't know whether I want to get dedicated Q-snaps for them so that they can stay on the Q-snap, and then I can just pull them out and start working on them. But yeah, I have to think about that, because I don't know if that's going to mark the fabric or whatever. I mean, they're never going to get framed because they're all so huge. They're probably all going to be made into quilts or wall hangings, but then I don't have enough wall space for wall hangings. So I don't know, they're probably all quilts in the end. Who knows? So yeah, I can't do it this year. I'm not buying anything this year, so I can't buy lots of Q-snaps for my full coverages, but because I've got a few I wanted to start. Anyway, alright, so next whip was Bedfordshire Sunset Gold Collection, and this one had hardly any started. This was not a whip go call, I don't think. I'm not sure actually now. I had just done a little bit of the roof above this window, just a tiny bit. And so yeah, this is big, this one. I used this for several challenge prompts in, I think it might have been Whip Warriors. They had, they got categories happening. There's 12 categories each month, the same 12 categories each month. And they just changed the letter each month. So this month was W. So you had to make everything start with a W. So one was a prompt of a colour. So the cottage has white walls. So I used this, the cottage has white walls. So I used this for the white walls. Another one was in or near water. So there's a stream down here. So I put the cottages next to the water in the stream. Another one was a plant or nature. Well, there's a weeping willow here in the picture, so I used it for that prompt as well. And I love trying to fit my whips into prompts. It is so much fun, and that's why I've decided to go not just with the whip go calls, but use any whip that I have for the prompts, because I'm going to get so much stitching done. Unbelievable. So this is how much I got done. Really, really loving this. And it's funny. On the chart, there's two symbols that are very similar. And I apparently had chosen the wrong one. And I was stitching away, and you can see that slight mauvey colour there. That's meant to be there. But when I was stitching, it was a really, really dark purple. And I'm stitching away and went, oh, that must be like wisteria or something over the roof. And then I looked at the pattern, looked at the picture and went, oh no, that's a mauve. That's definitely not a dark purple. Then I looked at the chart and the legend, the key, and it's one of those where there's two slashes, but in another colour, there's 4 lots of the 2 slashes together, and it was like, man, I've picked the wrong colour. So I had to unpick a whole lot and then do more. But there's quite a couple of thousand stitches in there, would you believe? I only know because all the challenges that I'm doing are counting challenges. So I'm counting every single stitch I put in. And I'll talk about an easy way I'm doing that in a minute once I've shown all my whips. Right, so that was Bedfordshire Sunset. The one good thing about having COVID before it really hit me too bad was I could get lots of stitching done. And I think that's why I got so much progress on a lot of my whips, because I just sat and stitched. I couldn't do anything else. I was dizzy, stinking headache, but I could sit and stitch. And then once it got to the head and the chest more, and I was coughing, it's like, oh, I felt like, and no, I couldn't even stitch. A couple of days I didn't stitch, so that's how I knew I must have been sick. Alright, so this is a whip go call. On one of my boards, I couldn't, at the time when I made the boards, I didn't have enough whips to complete 2 full boards of current whips. So the bottom row on one board was let the wheel decide. So I've got an app called Tiny Decisions or something, and I put all my whips in there, and then and when those numbers is called, I use the wheel to decide to let it pick the whip to work on. And it picked this one, Fancy Shoe. That's what I call it. It's actually called a Fancy Shoe by Priscilla. This is an old kit. I bought this one for my daughter when she was a baby, but she's not girly girl, so although she's getting a bit more now, so she might want it in her room. If not, it'll go in my office. So this pink bit around here is actually a cardboard frame, but you do stitch all the green and all the shoe in the middle. So I know I used this one for a challenge prompt where something had to have spots. Well, there's spots on the shoe, polka dots on the shoe. So I used it for that, and I got quite a lot done. I'm really happy with how much I got done. So previously I was up to like here. I hadn't done, I think I'd done that flower, but not these, and I was doing the green, and I'd got to like here in the green. So I did all this green and did those flowers there, and I finished on that last night before I started the Tree of Hope. So that is quite a lot. Now, this is a really stiff Ada that came in the kit, but I'll still use it. And I saw, oh my gosh, what about old whips? I saw Laura from My Stitch Birds had chopped up one of her old whips. She'd cut it into pieces. Gave me heart palpitations. I can't do that. I got some old whips and I'm just going to keep stitching them. I'm not going to, you know, I can't bring myself to cut up all the work that I've done so far. I'm going to keep doing them. Even if I can't stand them, I'm going to keep stitching. Okay, next one I worked on, which wasn't used for a prompt, a challenge prompt or a whip go call, but I was in, I stitch in the Myths and Magic Facebook group, and you work in teams, and you have to stitch for ingredients to cast spells on other clans and stuff like that. And we needed a whole lot of stitches in a really short space of time. So I thought, what whip do I have that's really quick to stitch on, and I can get a lot of stitches in a short space of time? And it's this one from the Fat Quarter Shop. It's the Shine Bright Stitch Along. I think it's actually called Shine On. I don't know, I'm confused. They had one previously that was in blues and stuff, and then they brought it out again later in the more pastel colours, which is this one. The other one might have been Shine On, and this one's Shine Bright. I don't know. It says Shine Bright, but maybe that's what it is. You'd think I'd know, because they paid me to stitch this, and I can't get it right. I'm so sorry, Fat Quarter Shop. I'm blaming the COVID brain, okay? Anyway, so this is it. It goes for 12 months. It started in November last year. Runs through until October next year. Is that right? September, October. And this is such a quick stitch because it's pretty simple. You're not changing a lot of colours very often. There's no confetti. It's all block stitching. Fantastic. So I did pull this out for a lot, and I'm actually up to here. I haven't done those triangles, but it's sort of, there's a page break along here somewhere. So I've done sort of all there and up. So that means I've done some of October for next year, June and May for this year. Not October this year, sorry. June and May for this year. So I've done quite, I'm way ahead. And I was worried that, wow, that's really big and I'm going to fall behind. No, no, no. So my challenges are pushing me to get this done, and I love it. So this is where I am, and I'm loving the colors. They're just beautiful. So that's what I've got done. I got a lot done. So when I had done it last time, all right, I had done that flower and that one there. So I did this one here and all the row underneath it. So that's a whole lot of stitching there. I'm loving it. You can still join it. It's still available. I will put the link below so you can get the pattern and the refill floss. Gorgeous. This is being stitched on a piece of 25 count even weave by Zweigart. I bought a whole bolt of it a year or so ago, and it's just like my general go-to for a lot of things. So the pattern for this is in the Bonnie and Camille quilt book, Quilt Bee book. If you're a quilter, this is full of gorgeous patterns, gorgeous quilt blocks. So one day when I get some extra hours in the day, I'm actually going to make some of these because I'd really love to make more quilts, and I don't make it a priority, so I need to. Like, I'd love to tackle that flower. How cool would that be? Like a whole quilt with flowers. That'd be cool. And I really like the effect of this one. That's so nice. So, and I love fabric. I love patterns and I love colour. So, you know, that'd be so cool. But yeah. Alright, so, and it's done using done using the refill floss. So they are the colours. And they have the pack already to go. So love that. Yeah, so this is my go-to when I need to get a lot of stitching done fast. And I think what I'm going to do is when this is finished, there's another stitch along I'm going to be doing with them starting in March, I think. So then, like, I'll move on to that one as my fast one, and then I've got some other fat quarter shop ones, which is similar, lots of blocks of colour, and I think they're going to be my challenge pieces when I need to get stuff done quickly. That's it, that's all the whips I worked on. I've run out of whips beside me. Okay, so haul. I'm not buying anything, so before you go yelling at me, I'm not buying anything this year, but I am continuing on with the club I was in last year, which is the Fabric of the Month Club by Paddock Lane Designs. And I got the January material. Now I get a 32 count, and this one is called Cockatiel. So it's yellows and greys. There you go, that's probably pretty good. Yellows and greys, just looks like a cockatiel. So I'm actually don't know what to put on it. I don't have a pattern to put on it, so I need some advice on what you think would go on it. I'm thinking a really nice like a Country Threads galahs or something. Not galahs, it's cockatoos or something, but I'm not buying anything, so I need some ideas on what I could put on this fabric. That's a pretty good colour there. So I'm just not sure. I don't have anything in my stash that will go on this unless I do a monochromatic one, but then I don't have anything I think that would suit this. And I hate having fabric in my stash with it not already earmarked for a project, so advice on that would be great. And bear in mind I won't be using this if I need to buy something to use it for. It won't be happening till next year. Alright, so what else I want to talk about was counting your stitches. So like I said, I'm in lots of challenge groups and you count the stitches. So a prompt may be 500 stitches on a whip with the colour white or the colour yellow, whatever. Well, if you're using Pattern Keeper or iMarkup XP, that's fine. You've got, you know, or Saga or whatever your digital application is that you use. You can mark it off and it counts your stitches for you. But if you're using a old-fashioned paper pattern and you're marking it off with a highlighter or a pencil or whatever, I used to count so many and write it down on a bit of paper, and then that got really frustrating, and I went, there has to be an easy way. I thought a counter would be great. So then I made my husband go out to Officeworks last year sometime. He was going out somewhere, and I went, while you're out, go to Officeworks, buy me one of these. Remember these when you're at school? Or even now, they still use them to count people coming indoors or traffic going a certain way around roundabouts or whatever. yeah, so every stitch you do, you just count, you know, click it for every stitch. So I will, or what I was doing, say there's like 10 stitches of one colour, then I will stitch those 10. This will be sitting on the table next to me. I'll just pick it up and click 10 really quickly, count, click 10, that's it. Put it down, continue stitching, or mark it off my pattern, continue stitching. And then I was on one of my suppliers' websites the other week, and I saw this. Look at this, this is cute. This is actually a row counter for knitting. So it's got like a little plastic ring thing on there that's designed, I think, to go on your knitting needles or whatever, but it's also great for putting on your finger. So I do it up. I'm just getting it back done up. So it just does back up, little plastic thing. All right, and then I slip it on my finger, and this little button here is a counter. So it's asleep at the moment. It goes to sleep. You just hit it and it'll bring up. Okay, so when I was stitching last night, I finished at 506 stitches. Can you see 506 stitches on there? All right, so I finished at 506 stitches. Every time you hit this button, it counts up. And if it goes to sleep from not being used, you can just hit the button, then this one, it won't add a count, but it will bring it back to life. And to reset it, you just hit this little button here and it goes back to 0. So I put this on my finger, just like my new fashion accessory. And I actually, last night, it was so funny, I went in the kitchen to make dinner. I'm cutting up the onions and I went, oh look, I still have my counter on my finger. So anyway, I have this on my finger, and now when I do the 10 stitches, for example, I do the 10 and I have it slide at an angle. All right, so then I can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops, see, 10 stitches. And then I carry on. So I don't have to now reach over for my counter, click it, and then mark off my pattern, like reach over, click it, put it down, and then carry on. I can just stitch my stitches, click it, and it's so much easier and convenient. And I love it. I'm loving it. So now it is so much easier to count my stitches. So this is a cool little gadget that I found. Now I don't know how long the battery life is and how long it's gonna last, but it's only a few dollars, and I don't know whether you can change the battery. I haven't got that far. When it goes flat, I'll pull it apart and see if I can put a new battery in underneath. I don't know. But yeah, so I actually am going to stock these. So this brings me to my new segment on my channel. And if you're not interested in what I have in my online stores or my Etsy store, then thank you for watching. I really appreciate you taking time out to watch my little video, and I'll catch you next time I do a video. If you've liked this, hit the subscribe button and the notify bell so you know when my next video comes out. If you are interested in what I have in my shop, then continue watching. So these are going to be in my shop. Now I can't put these in my Etsy store because they're a completed item. It's not a pattern or anything, or a handmade item. I am going to put these on my Simply Narelle store. So I will be stocking these, and off the top of my head, I know I'm not organised, I don't have the price for you, but I'm sure they're not much. Where's my invoice in a minute? Wait. I have my invoice here, let me tell you what they are. Row counter. Okay, they are $4.55 each, so really cheap, inexpensive, and I'm loving it. Like I said, it is so much easier to count your stitches than having to write it down on paper. Just hit this as you stitch along, you know. Wonderful, love it. So they are going to be in my store possibly tomorrow. The other things I'm going to have, I have here to put on my store, and I'm missing one. I'm slowly stocking the DMC, by the way, as well, on my Simply Narelle store. So it's $1 a skein on my simplynorel.com store, and I don't have the funds or the space to have every single DMC in stock right now. What I'm doing is, as I need DMC for kitting up a project or whatever, then I'll order those boxes in and a few others, and that's how I'm building up my supply. So I've got like about 10 more colors to add on to my Simply Norel store. So as time goes on, eventually I'll have them all, and I'll have the variegated, but it's just going to take me a little while to stock. If there's something that you do want and I don't have it in stock, then please reach out to me, text me. Actually, I don't think I have my mobile anyway because I was getting scammed, but email me simplynorel@gmail.com, or send me a message through Instagram, write a comment on this video, or message me through my Facebook page. Just get hold of me somewhere and tell me that you're interested in ordering something, and I can get it in for you. That also goes for patterns from all the big name designers. I have an account with overseas companies that I can get any of them in for you as well. Yeah, so anything I don't have, then I can get in. And if something is on back order, that just means that, again, I don't have the space to have everything, but I can get it for you. So if you want it, you can order it, and then I'll get it in for you. So back order doesn't mean that I've ordered it and it's coming. It means that I will order it when you ask me to. Alright, so I saw these needles. I don't know what they're like. I think they're okay. John James needles seem to be okay. So I bought some tapestry needles, size 6 needles, size 18 to 24. It looks like there's 3 different sizes in there. I can't really tell. I haven't pulled one apart. There's a few different sizes in there. So these are, wait. Alright, $3.60. No, they're not. Start again. $7. I was looking at the wrong line. Alright, so $7 a packet of these tapestry needles. And I also got beading needles because I'm going to have to do beading soon. So I got some beading needles as well, 10/12. Now I will tell you, I've never done beading before. I don't know what size you need and how it works, so no idea. But I saw these and went, well, I'm going to give these a go. There's 4 needles in this packet. It says size 10 to 12. John James beading. They're called Pebble because they're in a little plastic container, which is handy, so you won't lose them. So I bought them as well, and they will be going in my store as well on simplynorel.com, and they're also $7 a packet. Okay. Yeah, so was that it? No, there was something else. Oh, I just kicked my chair. Hang on a minute while I just get something else. Oh. Okay. So I got a dimensions order, and I haven't got everything here to show you, but I got another little order come in. Sorry, let me get them out of the bag. I think I've just busted the bag. No, well, that can go in the bin. Right, I got these kits, and I'm sorry I don't have the price on me. They don't tell me the price right here. Alright, I don't have the price. But I got these gorgeous little kits. How cute are these? Little birdies in a teacup. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Comes with the hoop. Beautiful. Look at that. I love that hoop. I wanted to see what the hoops were like. That's why I bought the kits. I thought, well, people might want to buy them and stitch them. I'm going to stitch one of these, I think, because they're absolutely beautiful. Reminds me very much of ones that were in a magazine. But I was looking for round hoop designs to go with my squirrel. And I saw this and went, that's really cute. So these also will be in my simplynorel.com store, and I can't share the price offhand. I'm so sorry. But you'll see them on there tomorrow when you go to my store. Okay, so the last thing to talk about is my plans. And no, I've talked about that, haven't I? Yeah, I did. Alright, so that's it. I do have I have some new bags in my Etsy store. Sorry, I'm struggling to try and talk and not cough. So sorry. If you made it this far, thank you. You deserve a medal. I have a few new bags in my Etsy store as well. So it's simplynorel.etsy.com. Go check that out as well. and I've got some more that are currently being sewn, and they'll be up by the end of the week. What's today? Tuesday. Yes. Alright, so thank you so much for watching. I'm going to try and come back, if not weekly, then at least fortnightly, because I should have lots of stitching to show. And yeah, one day I'm going to stop talking with my hands. It's the Italian blood in me. I can't help it. It just sit on my hands. Yeah, so anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Stay safe and happy stitching. Bye bye.